Tell him, Bill. Brother Bill is gone. I can it's interesting when you hear the simulcasting into YouTube and I can hear it. I I I don't know if you all can hear it. I'm like that is funny. You hear yourself like coming at yourself. It is so good to see you all this evening, putting in your poll information. It would be great if you could see the poll numbers that I'm looking at. Uh, the question is, what is your main financial goal? What is your, make sure you answer it as you enter. I'm going to put it to the side. Hello, I am JD Bryan of JD Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of Afro Economics, a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. Yes, indeed. I never knew how the abroad was going to come together, but indeed, we are now in Egypt. And I'm learning about the time differences. Yes, yes, and yes. We have Afro economics in Egypt. Yes, and I have to thank God for her. Yes, we have a member of our Afro economics team that's there. I told her, it's like, we got to get our address together. Yes, indeed, Fonda. Got to see you soon. We were in one of our meetings, Miss Neal. We were watching your nutrition coaching video. And we're going to do that again. We're going to do that again. I know that this COVID has grabbed on to a lot of us. I've been fighting it myself. At least the numbers every time I get on the scale. I only get on the scale once a week. Get on the step on the scale every week. It was just going higher and higher and higher. Finally, it's coming back the other direction. Praise God, really, sincerely. So I know, let's fight. One thing that has helped is not ordering out. DoorDash can go somewhere else. I get away from this desk and now I cook my family's food like I did pre-COVID. And that can save a lot of us. The 10th principle of Afro economics, Black health and Black wealth. We have to have our health so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. It is Wednesday night. This is Afro Economics Live. You all are wonderful. The participation tonight, I love it. I know that y'all were like, "What in the world?" if I if I open up the mic, I hope that y'all will mute it for me. I do want you all to talk because this is a lot more exciting if you talk. I had a radio interview this evening, and one of the hosts on the show, he talked a lot, and I said, "Look, I really need my members to talk and ask me questions." I was like, I don't want our nights to be like that. And definitely, y'all do a great job on our Friday morning members only meetings. And tonight, we're talking about the fear of missing out, FOMO. My daughter asked me that one day. She said, "Mom, I think I have FOMO. Do you know what that is?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "Do you, Mom? Do you really?" And I said, "Yes, I do. It means fear of missing out." And she was totally impressed. So now, if y'all run into the situation and a young person asks you, no, do you know, well, and they're doing something that you know that they shouldn't be doing because they need to do something more productive, tell them, do you have a fear of missing out? Because you're missing it. And unmute your phone. If you have a fear of missing out, please let me know. Rosita, you probably don't. Mr. Martin, I know you probably don't. not, look, you know what? None of you probably do, right? But when it comes to going out of the house, we may have really gotten rid of that fear of missing out, right? Now I have the mics open on a lot of y'all. I just didn't open, like it doesn't show your name either. So if you speak, only I will know if you have a fear of missing out.
I have a
And
fear.
you do tell me what your do tell me how you feel about it. What do you feel when you have a fear of missing out? What do you feel that you're missing out on?
Some opportunity, and I'll either at this age either kind of talk myself out of it, or rise to the get tempted.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And then the fear of missing out when it comes to opportunities really is what we have as a challenge as adults. Like, the think about when Washington DC, what has changed about Washington DC? I don't know if you can talk to me, Mr. Martin, but if you have a route, Mr. Martin works for the postal system. What is different about the residents of Washington D.C. today and the residents of Washington D.C. 20 years ago? Who can tell me? Tell me. hmm I can't hear you though. I think, but I heard like a little bit that somebody was going to say something. What's different? Now I
Demo-
got a lot of y'all.
Demographics.
The demographics, you used a big word. I need more details because demographics can be a lot of demographics. It can be what?
Gentrification.
Tell me more, Ms. Williams. Tell
Oh,
me
I thought we
more.
weren't using names.
Exactly. And before you, it was Ms. Rogers. That's right. I didn't promise you a rose garden. I beg your pardon. There's always a chance with me. You never know, right? No. But tell me more. You said demographics, gentrification. Y'all always using those big words. Tell me more.
Be
What do you
called Chocolate City. When
think,
I
Miss?
was growing up, it was Chocolate City. I would say, I'm going to the Chocolate City that now is, I guess, more White Milk City.
That's right. Tell them Miss Howard was saying that DC used to be Chocolate City. And then what happened? What happened? I'm talking about the fear of missing out. What happened? What happened? They never came and said, all y'all black folk get out. What happened?
Black folk left.
Black folk left. That's right, Andalicia. Black folk left. And
because they
because, tell
is
me,
it because they thought there were more opportunities in Virginia, Maryland, and those surrounding states and those suburbs.
and then now for my black folk that are left there, and I still have a few clients left there, they're sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah. It reminds me of Church Hill a little bit. It reminds me
Right?
a little bit of Church Hill here in Richmond, because Church Hill used to be Chocolate City, and
Right.
it was nothing but a lot of black people in Church Hill. And then they started getting money and moving out to Henrico, to the counties. And now you can't afford a house in Church Hill now. I mean, they're running you 300,000 and up now for some of the houses like on Chimborazo and stuff like that. I mean,
That's right.
so if you had a house
Same
in
with
Church Hill,
DC. Same with DC.
yep,
I know people bought their house for 50,000. Now
yep,
it's close to $1 million in their
there-
lifetime. Like but what happened? What's happening is that there was a fear of missing out where everyone, even with Baltimore, I have family members were like, I got to get out to the county. And then also, with DC, I got to get out to the county. They feel like they're missing out. Everybody they knew was moving out. You know, Maurice said the change is more white people. They gave them big money to sell the people didn't value their property. That's right. The white people came in and said, like, we want this, we'll take it. And then we sold it to them. So,
Yeah.
and then those who are left behind, that's where the gentrification comes in, was Ms. Williams was sharing, like, then they can't they can't really afford it, even though they have this $1 million property, unless they have grown in income with that property value, they can't afford their taxes on it anymore, or to insure it anymore. So the fear of missing out for masses costs us on that side, and then it costs the ones who stayed on the inside as well, because of that still being there. We still have that income challenge. And then definitely, if you start getting closer to retirement age, typically their income starts going down. So we have to be aggressive savers during our work lives. And a lot of times it's like, why don't we, y'all tell me, why don't we have a fear of missing out on saving? Like, I don't, I think it's because the fear of missing out, it comes on like being able to double your money, or you feel like, I'm doing this work plan, I'm in this TSP at work, and all it is just growing over the years. There's nothing exciting about that, right? They don't see anything exciting about saving $1,000 a month. So somebody comes around and they tell you about another opportunity, like Maurice was saying, when they came up and they said, you don't want to live here, take your kids out to the county, put them in those schools, better. You can get you a car, and you can drive, and you won't have access to the metro, and you won't even have to worry about it. And we don't even think, because we really feel, how you doing, Mr. Travers? That's indeed. I don't know if hopefully I have your, because while everybody was moving out, Mr. Travers might want to share why he moved in. Everybody was going out, this brother was going in. So did you want to
Very,
share?
very cool.
I'm sorry. Someone said something. So when we're talking about the fear of missing out, I had to like bring that to our attention, because a lot of times we don't see what's going on in the bigger picture of our lives and how this is impacting us. That fear of missing out, or feel like your kids are missing out on this great opportunity to go to these much better schools. So you've got to move out to these different zip codes. And then what happens too often for us, then we have to, the problem of another problem. Maybe the child is being discriminated against in ways that if you had stayed at the other school, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe at the other school, somebody is more likely to know your daddy and your mama, and then your mama, and then know 3-4 generations deep. Now, y'all tell me, isn't that important when you go to school and they know you? Isn't it?
Yeah.
That, I mean, it really is. So then I just want to talk about like the things that are going. I have a couple of things I want us to think about when it comes to deciding if an investment is good or not. So if somebody came up to you and you're chilling in a house that you inherited from your grandma, and they said, you want to do this because everyone else is doing this. Is that a sign that you should do it, or that you need to reconsider?
You have to reconsider.
There you go.
Consider.
There you go. Dr. Williams, thank you. And then why do you think that if everyone else is doing that at this particular time, and this works, it works all the time. They run a commercial. Everybody loves this truck. You know what I'm saying? And it could be true. Like, everybody might love that truck, but everybody loves that truck. Do you think that now they're going to make sure that the truck is at its cheapest price? No,
And
right? Right? So, and I like to think of it like, and I've even seen it written like, especially when it comes to like stocks, they call it like the herding. Where everybody wants to follow the herd. They goes, everybody buying? All right, let's all buy. Everybody selling? All right, let's all sell. And people totally forget about the plan. Like I had one client that as we were going through Corona, I was trying to explain to him everything that we had done going into Corona, how I had his assets secure, that it didn't matter what was going on in the market because I had his principal protected and some, and that his income was guaranteed for the rest of his life. I mean, that's huge. This is a huge statement to make, and it was true. This is how we set it up because I've known you forever, forever. And so he keep calling me every day, call me 3 times a day, call me 4 times the next day, call me 5 times the next day. The next day he couldn't take it no more. And he said, I don't care. I don't care what you say, JB. I got to get out. And what did I do?
Let him go.
I had to let him out. I got to take whatever you say. I said, okay, yes, sir. Did the trades, got him out. The next day, what happened?
he lost.
Went
The
out.
no, the next
Market
day.
went up.
Of the
Exactly.
rebound.
Exactly. And it ain't got, look, and it ain't really, it has never gone back to the day that he gave up. But- And, and he didn't have a problem because I said, no matter what this does, I've got your income locked in for the rest of your God-given life. That is quite a statement, wouldn't you think?
Hmm.
So it really doesn't matter, what's going on here, because one thing, you are in it. And if you live long enough, we'll get to the other side of this. But we got to live. All you got to do is live. All you got to do is live. Matter of fact, if you die, it's not a concern of yours anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's why
So,
you have to be careful, JB, who you're listening to and what you're watching.
because he was going crazy and somebody was whispering, and it happens to me all the time. And today somebody posted on Facebook about evictions and how dare these people do evictions, and they had names, and then where the money, who was suing them. It had a few evictions, but the majority of the people suing were payday loans. And so someone intelligently in the comments said, that's payday loans. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I said, that's a good point. I said, and if they were members of Afro Economics, free membership, this would not be happening. I said, but as of this day, and it was like, this was like sunrise today when I saw that brother post that thing. I said, as of this day, I will only help people who want to be helped. It is a waste of my energy, you know what I'm saying, to continue to save us. I mean, and that's got to be how Harriet Tubman felt. Remember, she said, I would have saved more slaves if they'd known they were slaves. She up there, let's go, and they want to go. And that's the same answer that I have to get to. And I realize that most of the time I'm telling you all to go the other way. And that's the hardest part of my job. I'm telling you to resist what everybody else is doing. Generally, everybody else everybody else we know lives where they want, drive what they want, do what they want. You know what I mean? All the time. I'm sitting here telling you, save more. Don't live all the way up to your means, and just because somebody got a lot of stuff does not mean that they're spending a lot of money. Some people, most of you, make a lot of money. So people look at you and think that they can do what you do, and they can't. So everything that I'm saying is not applicable to everyone because some people live well below their means and it's still living well. I live well below my means and I don't want for anything. And definitely, thank God, my needs are met. So but that is because of a desire to do what is right. That I don't have to go get something just because everybody else is doing it. Because everybody else that's doing what I'm doing, all they're focusing on is selling you something. And I spend all my time on empowering you. So they look at me and say, that girl crazy. She ain't talking about selling. She ain't sold nothing yet. She should put her cash app up. You know how much money she would make? You know what I'm saying? That's true. I've had ministers tell me that. Why you do that for free? Hmm. So, and then let's look at some things also. We're talking about things, um, some smart, when warning signs that you're doing the wrong thing. When you're doing the same thing as everybody else and being told to do it because everybody else is doing it. You're not going to hear me telling you to do something because everybody else is doing it. I'm going to tell you to do something because it's what's best for you. Period. So then what about like there's like a commercial on television and it's somebody that you trust and they're endorsing, doing this reverse mortgage. Do you know how many people will call the reverse mortgage person just because that's somebody they saw from Gunsmoke during the commercial? Or so, that's like what? You know, or like they're gonna, just because we also have to realize that just because something is performing well in the stock market doesn't mean that it has any value. Did you know that? Did you know that?
No.
Right? Because we think that price advancement actually means that the company has value. But that's just like thinking that the Kardashian TV show is good just because everybody watches it. Same thing. Same thing.
Yes.
You have to look at the quality of the specific product, service, management, because some stupid stuff goes down in the stock market and you're in it for the long term. A lot of people are in it for the short term. They're just using the market, especially now with these apps and tips and everybody Warren Buffett now. They telling you what you're supposed to buy. Have you seen that? They go from working in a call center one day and the next day they telling you what stock to buy. I mean, seriously? Look. And the only reason that they can do that is because they are not regulated. Because anybody with any type of license cannot come out and tell someone what stock to buy. I cannot do that. I have to be talking to you one-on-one. So be conscious of just because they tell you it doubled in price. It's been up all since COVID. It's up 1,000%. That's how they sell, unfortunately, to us. But when you are looking at information and research and details, it's just like writing a good paper for your doctoral dissertation. It has to have what? Facts. Amen, Ms. Robertson. Facts. Something to back it up.
Yeah.
You can't just go out and say stuff. So that's what you want with every financial decision that you make. You want to make sure that it is based on solid company information, not just stock price trend. As I was showing you all in the members only meeting on Friday, we were looking at a particular stock, remember? And I was showing you how their stock price has been declining, but their yield, because of their strong dividend, is extremely high. So it depends on if a customer was looking for income or a yield on a individual stock. I'm running over there and it's on sale. But if a person is only concerned with price, they're going to miss out on the income. So it's deep. It's deep. And then okay, then let's think about just talking to people. They're just listening to their ideas. there was a story in CNBC that was saying that one time this app put this stock out there for everybody to buy, and it was saying that they found the cure. They have positive results, for the vaccine for COVID and blah blah blah. And all of these people put all of this money. I mean, the company made billions, and then they found out that that statement was only based on 8 people, 8 positive results. So we got to think deeper. And then knowing your individual investment goal, your individual risk tolerance, how much volatility you can take. And then also, this is important for us. Now, when I say this name, a registered investment advisory firm, what does that mean to you all?
Yeah, the proper credentials. I don't know.
And that you have to answer to some larger board or something if you cause malice.
That's right. And how many times do you see it?
Not often.
Just one.
Not a lot.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
And if you want to know how well registered investment advisors are admired by the majority community, now our community disses me. I'm not respected because I don't focus on selling products. But in the white community, they're not going to talk to anybody if they're trying to get wealthy than if they're a registered investment advisor. And if Obama had had his way, we would all be dealing with registered investment advisors. And I pulled my business model that way when I opened my door, because a registered investment advisor, and you can look this up, this is our Investopedia. I want us to get the facts that a registered investment advisor manages the assets of high net worth individuals and institutional investors and sits on the buy side of the investment field, where we're actually acquiring these assets. We can also sell it. No. But they must be registered with the SEC and any states that they operate in, which is not necessarily true. The SEC is the ultimate boss, but if you don't have to be registered with the SEC. I'm registered with the states that I'm in, and the states are regulated by them because I am a smaller firm. But as we get bigger, I skip out of the state and I don't have to pay all that money for all my different states. I only focus on one. I only have to pay the SEC. But now I have to pay each state. So but they're that's why they're making reference to, they're registered with the SEC and with states. So even if a firm answers to the SEC, you still would be able to find it through the state of their home office. And RIAs are partnerships or corporations. I'm a corporation. My firm is a corporation, and individuals are registered as registered investment advisors. That's me as an individual, and my firm is regulated, and my firm regulates me. So and I think that this is an interesting article because I've really missed this. I really missed this in just being able to explain to you the advantages that we have in this area. And what you see how it says high net worth. I don't require that because our community needs me to do it for a smaller investor. If somebody doesn't, though, at some point there'll be a bigger firm that has better backing that will only focus on high net worth. That's what they'll do. But I just thank God for the opportunity and the sacrifice and the desire, because I don't know why, but this is just what I have been pulled to do, is to focus on giving us access to investment advisory versus just having to be connected to what product we need to buy. So it says many clients are looking for a true financial quarterback, a resource that you can use for solid advice on your total financial picture. And that's what we do. So, reason I want us to like work with these words is because there's a lot of investments out here that don't have, they're not registered. They're not regulated. You can go to FINRA and you can put in my name and you will find me. If you are working with someone and you cannot look at the government and look at how they're regulated, do you think that you should be putting your future in their name? And now, no disrespect to certifications, but a certification is not a regulatory body. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So I could have this,
Amen.
I could have this 3 letters,
Yes.
that 3 letters, that 3 letters, another 3 letters, another 3 letters. But until it says you can sue me through the government, you're not protected. Until it says this person is required to have errors and omissions insurance, you're not protected. So we're going into a lot of investments. They're going after us and they're not regulated and they're not registered. And you are not going to find a person who is regulated or registered that is ever going to put you into a product that is not regulated and registered unless it's some sort of private placement or something that we're working on. And I have to let them know that I'm working on a private placement to raise money for a business or something. But other than that, it is not going to happen to you. It's going to be something that is traded on an exchange or it's an annuity or some sort of, but it is a regulated, registered product. I want us to get that. So can you see this article on gold? You see this article when I did that?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So this is just, and you can make sure that you look at it. It just came out in June. But there are a lot of scams going on about gold because gold prices are going higher. Anybody been hearing about buy this, gold that?
Yes.
This is when it becomes very important to call your registered investment advisor, because if you ask the wrong person, they're going to give you the answer that you want to hear. It's sometimes we throw money away. Not even sometimes. I just want to know when Black people are going to get tired of being bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? Right? When are we going to say, you know what? I'm not, Rosita said, I see you are registered. No, good for you. Good for you. And look, I know. And then also, exactly. And then I said she's being taken. Any takers? I am now. What happened? You should join Afro Economics. The But definitely we have to make sure that we are careful on what we are doing. Remember one day we were doing this and somebody came into the chat box trying to sell us like some gold stuff. Like I was like, what in the world? So that I said, like, if we want to buy gold, we can buy gold and it still can be regulated and registered. There are gold mining companies. There are gold ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. We can put all of those into portfolios. Talk to me, talk to any, other advisor that can help you set up a portfolio. But gold can be regulated and registered. This article gives good ideas on if you actually want to buy gold in the bar and get the bars, keep the bars, touch the gold. Like if you really want to have the gold, but you can invest in gold without having the gold in your hand. We can do that through gold investments that focus on gold. Gold, there's actually even an ETF that actually holds gold. So there's options out there without you going into some multi-level marketing, campaign that's not regulated and registered. And key thing there for me, as someone came up to me, I would say, how can I get my money back? No hemming and hawing. You know how that usually slows them down? You go, well, what do I do if I want my money back? And then they go, well, nah, I want you to say it just as confidently as you were about to take my money. Liquidity is very important. Here's another one, Investopedia, on how to spot a Forex scam. Anybody heard of that? Forex?
No.
Yes, I heard of it. My niece was telling me about it today. She keeps getting texts or emails about get in with Forex. I was like, is that somewhere for a job? She's like, no, it's about investing. I was like, what?
Look at
I said,
this.
I told her, leave it alone.
Look at this. Enormous amounts of money floating around in a what? Unregulated. Unregulated. Forex is not regulated. So we have to be very careful about Forex scams. So here it goes. Like, read this. How to spot a Forex scam. Article's good. Investopedia. Don't give me, don't have to worry. Look, because it's amazing. Y'all, the most humbling part of being Black. What do you think the most humbling part of being Black is?
Not cracking.
Right? Yeah, right. But don't y'all believe that very few people believe what we say, even our own?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Look.
yeah,
So
that's true.
so that makes us very good researchers. But look. So then, like, all we got to do is just say, well, go read what the white man wrote. Don't you ain't got to believe me. Go read that. And then, you know what I'm saying? That's what you better do. Cause I can't save my people unless I humble myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Mhm.
don't you be sitting up there. That's what God told me. Don't you be sitting up there and making them think that you smart. Like, I had a family member tell me that one time. Just because those people think you smart, you ain't all that. You ain't all that smart. I saw hate I had never seen before. I said, "Oh my goodness, it is
Hmm.
not easy being Black."
Wow.
And I was just trying to look, and I was just trying to help somebody. The
Hmm.
way I have been fussed out for trying to help people is amazing. That is, that is amazing. That is amazing. And the things that I have seen my people go through. And I have gone out and taken punches, fights, insults, like verbal punches for clients. And they will apologize to the person that I took the punch for them. Like, say I've had people who blatantly lied to a client. The only time when I take and I fight for the client is a man that appreciates it. He appreciates that he can sit back and say, JV, go get my money and I'll go get it. But I have had women tell me, you don't have to be so mean, right? And then when they don't get their money, then they go, JB, can you go get it? You see what I'm saying? So this it's like, come on. Let's get this.
No.
That is seriously. So I'm gonna tell
I
you,
didn't have the camera function.
if you're getting scammed and you call me tomorrow, because I had a client, they met some people at their church and they both invested 400,000 with these people because he was a professional athlete that had retired, and the minister brought him into the church, and they had these accounts. They were, you roll it over and we promise you'll get 10% a month.
Mm.
So they put 800,000 in there. The guys came to my office and I said, no, I do not do anything. No, and I was in my 20s. I don't do anything that is not registered are regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission. So not here. And they kept it stepping, but they stepped right over into a church. So the minister brings them in, and then they send, eventually, the athletes get sent to jail. But those people, after this happens to me all the time. After that, somebody says, you need to talk to JB Bryant. And this is before Afro economics. You need to talk to JB Bryant. So they come in and we call the guy before he gets to jail. And we're like, or I'm fighting for him, trying to get their money back. You know what I'm saying? They never got a dime. That guy is out. That guy is out of jail. You know what I'm saying? They still don't have their money. And that brother was shining shoes. Sick. So all I'm saying is, if they had rules, if they had said it's not registered, I don't do that. And what we do is we say, well, and they were saying, well, at least we got our pension, until they saw what 800,000 gone looks like. It's like, well, maybe the pension isn't enough. No. And people are going into things like this. Can you see this? Blessing loom. This is beware of the blessing loom scam. Have anybody heard of that?
No.
No.
Oh, this is hot right here. Sometimes they call it a susu.
I've heard of the
Oh,
giving
yes.
circle. Giving circle.
And it's not a susu.
Susu.
A susu is not this. A susu is something that my African and Caribbean friends do, and they don't try to rob each other, and they don't have to bring in other people. It's something they do privately to themselves. But this is the devil using the concept of the susu and then try to bring God in it. A blessing loom, a blessing bank. Now, somebody on here got this call. I know y'all did, because everybody asks me about it all the time.
I've heard the giving circle.
No.
Giving circle. All these are different. Then some of them now are calling it a community fund. Talking about they raising money and then they're going to give it to the business. I'm like, when you going to give it to me then? When you going to do it? Who? What business you going to give it to? What you going to do? Well, this is a good article done by a television station, and it's saying that it's come back. It's been coming in and out. This is the first time I heard about it, but with the people getting the money from the stimulus, they want that money. They want that money. So they're like, we could just put in, they know that people may be getting a little bit of extra money. So they could do that. A small investment of about $100 through PayPal or something, and then you have to come back and bring in some other people.
They told me 1,400.
And look, and it says, the trouble is,
It's a pyramid.
scheme.
That's what I thought.
And even if you don't know, you still can go to jail. So you can say that, look, and because the thing is that it relies on recruiting new individuals to keep the scam afloat. So when people stop participating, the money supply stops. So that's a pyramid scheme. And then a lot of people are disappointed. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to be careful, Wanda. Indeed. The state's attorney shut it down. Good. Saying that there had to be a service or product provided. Exactly, Rick. So that's why it's a pyramid scheme. That's what he's explaining. That if it's just based on people participating to keep the money afloat, there's no service. You can't do that. It'd be like me saying, God forbid, I'm not even going to say it. I don't even want to use anything as an example, but no. Yeah, right? A Ponzi scheme. I know I think the Ponzi scheme is maybe when it's just one person and they're the Ponzi or something, versus a pyramid, they make all of you the Ponzi. All y'all can go to jail. So definitely we have to be careful with the names and the understanding. You see all these people going to jail for the PPP loans. Some of them don't know what they're doing, and they're putting more out there. We have to tighten up. It's not going to be easy. I don't see like, like this is like going to be, some sort of heyday. I just see that we're headed into a political season. So they're going to keep trying to put money into it. But by the top of next year, there's going to be a lot of people are going to have to figure out, how they're going to pay their bills. The Miss Howard, what were you going to say, sweetie?
Oh, no, I hit that by mistake.
Oh, okay. And right, I see a victory too, Nana. I see a victory too. But when I think back on lives, and I think about like lives and life, how it goes by for us, I just want to thank you all for understanding that all I want for you is for you to be successful. That's all I want. And I apologize that sometimes I have to do it and I don't know exactly the proper way to do it. But when somebody tries to rob my babies, that's what I see. I mean, you're talking about somebody who their book, my life story, is about building wealth within our community. I know how much we've gone through. I know what it takes for us to get $100. And when they try to, I don't care if it's $100. I got a client now, I'm fighting for her $20 because they inconvenienced her and I want them to give her $20 back. But that's that I have to, that I don't do it right all the time. But I I only do it the way I do it based on what I've seen that has to be done. You know, like, and I thank God for still having that energy. Because if you've seen like some people, I'm headed into 30 years of financial services, of fighting for us, my food chain. You at the top of it. Like this. Have you, I mean, seen like when people get to like 30 years, do you feel like rolling them out of the office because they ain't doing anything else productive? So if you're right. So if I can still fight, you know, and I look better than Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And he's still going and he ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Then it is what it is. But I can't, we just have to keep going and we have to be wise and you have to be careful. And it's okay to say no. And even if it's $100, don't let them. Like this one man said today, I hope that he's listening. And he said, he said, Mr. Driver said, stop. He don't like me talk about Mike Tyson. I'm just joking. Thank you. That he said, I forgot I was going to tell y'all a story, but anyway, life is good and let's keep going and let's take care of ourselves and let's keep our energy and unapologetically me. Indeed, that is me. You know what? I have that website. I need to use that as we go through COVID, right? But I have unapologeticallyme.com. I don't know what kind of mood I was in the day that I bought that website, but I did. Uh, you're a champ. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But remember, I'm going to say this so we can think about, just to give you some key things to think about. Let me also go through my notes about warning signs, um, things that don't follow the herd. Y'all don't try to be like everybody else. Don't ever borrow money to try to buy something. That people can actually, you can have a brokerage account with me and we can put a margin on it, and people do that, and they used to let them borrow up to all their money. And that's when, like, back in the Great Depression and stuff, and people were jumping out of windows, because they were like, oh my goodness, I lost everything and some. Like, we, don't get upset because you just lost everything. But when you lose everything and some, it's like that's a challenge, because you like, how you lose everything and some, but that's how you do when you buy these things, and you buy and you use it and leverage it to buy some more. And that's called buying on a margin. So be very careful how we acquire things. Or if you go, I want to get into that thing, give me the money, cousin. Now you've borrowed to get into something that it's not for you. You're not ready. And then we'll do something like that before we'll get into our work retirement plan, where they'll give you a match on your money. So we really need to talk before you do things. We need to have some sort of order on priorities and how we participate in things, because we cannot afford to just throw away anything. And when anything sounds too good to be true, it usually is. I was watching some movie, and this woman was meeting this man. I don't know, it was some probably inappropriate movie, so I'm not even gonna tell y'all the name of it. But the lady said, never trust a man that doesn't have a bad habit. And I was like, that's interesting. But that's just like in an investment saying, like, don't, anything that sounds too good to be true generally is. Everybody got issues. Everything, nothing is perfect. So they can't tell you got a guaranteed 10% return, no risk, and you can get it back tomorrow. And, all of these different criteria. Don't accept it. Anything that sounds too good to be true generally is, unless let's believe it. Any questions before y'all leave me?
Yeah, why couldn't you hear me?
I can hear you indeed, Mr. Martin. How about
Oh,
them Cowboys?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
I wanted when I unmuted myself, I wanted to talk about when you first asked. I wanted to say that the reason that Washington D.C. is in the shape it's in is because we haven't had another Marion Barrett.
I know, you're right. You're right, and you pretty much need to move back into DC and be the mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
Would hurt
That's
him to get
true.
this.
And
I'm
there's
one.
one, that's one, thing too. It's just that we have to start appreciating the sacrifices that people make for us.
That's right.
We really do, and honor them so that we can be blessed accordingly, because
Yeah,
we don't really, really realize that, he sacrificed a lot for DC. Like you said, granted, like, why do we have to start everything about someone about what they did wrong? Like, if you look up his bio, they're going to talk about um him getting charged with a drug charge. That's going to be their first description. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's sick. There's always going to be, and I feel that life itself is about us getting past that so that we can be successful. That you got to get past all the ugly that people are saying about you so that you can be all that you are meant to be. Because I haven't seen anybody yet who achieved anything that people weren't talking ugly. It's crazy. Mm-mm-mm. And then Alpha in the house. they, look, they talking to each other. You got to say to all attendees, to Barry, Mr. Travers said Alpha in the house. Leo, JB, does $1 gold double eagle coin cost $23? I don't know. We're going to see the whole, like, just be, or is it worth? I guess the question would be like, is it really worth $23? And what is the market for it? That's my challenge with gold itself. Like, if I get an ETF of gold, and because you want to have gold to diversify your portfolio, you want some in there, I can sell that for you anytime throughout the day. We can buy and sell it. But if you get a great big stack of gold coins, how do we liquidate it? How do I get it? Like, and then, like, and then there's this push y'all hear about it, like saying that the dollar is going away and it's going out and it's going down, and like it's going, Like everything that we have to buy, even if it's a cyber currency, they still want $1 to do it. So I'm like, I'll give up on $1 when people stop accepting them. I mean, it doesn't, right? Mm. Well, I am your business mentor, Rick. That's right. Exactly. Oh, the application. I'm in the app. That's right. Do it. He's in the 8A. He's in Maryland, and he can do a lot of stuff. So the 8A certified, and and then 8A certified, I guess that allows you to work with the government and do stuff, do government contracts and everything, right? And you can do that's right. You can do it. And then my thing would be, I want to diversify you cross that, because the government contracts are basically almost like having a job, but not having the benefits, because I got to make sure that you have a continuation of your business afterwards. So some contracts are good for you, and some contracts want to dominate your life. They want to own you. And so that would be my thing, to make sure that they don't own you, that you still own you, and you still build your business, and you still be diversified in sources of income while you're working that contract. But you can get contractors to work your contract, and you can still be building the other parts of your business. Hmm. Nana gets a consult for you. Get a consult for your birthday. Yes, indeed. Respond to the text for this event and tell her that you want a consult for your birthday, and I'll make sure, and we'll set that up. Uh yes. I'm not sure. I didn't get this first part of that, KH, but what did you want me to speak about? Um okay. Yeah, definitely call the landline or chat. You can chat into the any of the websites where it has a little chat. You can put it in there as well. The Oh, I'm not following Mala Lucia. But if you're an Afro Economics member and we're setting up a portfolio and you have individual stocks that you want me to check out for you, that is what we do. That is what I will do for you. Indeed. But thank you. Yes, indeed, y'all. I appreciate tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is tonight I simulcast live with the YouTube. I use I usually don't do that. I usually go on to the other one. But I said, you know what? Tonight, I like YouTube. It gives me like really positive feedback. So y'all have a great, great night. Don't hesitate to reach out. jb@jbbryan.com. Thank you. God bless you.
Good
Thank you, Miss
evening.
Hawkins. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. To my
Thank you,
studio
JB.
audience, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You are
JB.
great,
Thank
Monica.
you.
And
Thank you, JB.
Alicia. Monica. Exactly. Rose.
Thank you.
Dr. and Mrs. Williams.
Peace.
I love y'all. Y'all so good. Y'all are the
Love you
best.
back.
Y'all are good. Have a good night. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Yes, indeed. All right, Ms. Neal. I'm gonna make sure we try to connect tomorrow. I need one of your therapy sessions. Get some free nutrition coaching. Good night, Mr. and Mrs. Mrs. Joe. Good to see y'all. Good night. We have to talk as well. I'm so glad that y'all are healthy. You all don't know how blessed you are. Mm, good to see you.